Today's story is called The Shadow of the Giant. In the land of Elah, where shadows twisted beneath the ancient trees, a new legend emerged, a tale darker than the sunless nights that cloak the valley. Goliath, the feared giant, had returned, but he was not merely a brutish beast. He had become a vessel of terror, a living nightmare fueled by an insatiable hunger for vengeance. David, a simple shepherd, heard the villagers' whispers of Goliath's resurrection. They spoke of the giant's return from the grave, a creature of decay and malevolence. Every night, children went missing, their laughter replaced by chilling silence. The villagers trembled, their eyes haunted by fear. Determined to confront the beast, David armed himself with his sling and a handful of stones, but he knew this time it would not be enough. He ventured into the cursed woods, guided by a dark intuition, a feeling that this encounter would be unlike any before. As David approached Goliath's lair, he felt a heavy fog envelop him, obscuring the path ahead. The trees loomed like skeletal hands, their branches reaching out, whispering secrets of the damned. A cold wind whispered through the leaves, carrying the scent of rot and decay. "Who dares challenge me?" A voice boomed, reverberating through the fog. It was Goliath, but his voice was deeper, layered with the cries of the souls he had consumed. "Come forth and be devoured." David's heart raced, but he stepped into the clearing, finding Goliath towering above him, more monstrous than ever. His skin hung loose, a tapestry of scars and decay, his eyes black voids that seemed to absorb all light. He grinned, revealing teeth stained crimson, remnants of his last meal. "I remember you, boy," Goliath sneered, the shadows shifting around him like a cloak. "You think you can defeat me again? I have feasted on the fears of your kind, and now I am stronger than before." David steadied his breath, summoning every ounce of courage. "I am not afraid of you," he shouted, though doubt crept into his mind. He reached for a stone, but as he did, he saw the ground littered with the bones of the fallen, warriors who had faced Goliath and never returned. "Fear is your true enemy," Goliath said, his voice dripping with malice. "Let me show you." Suddenly, shadows coiled around David's feet, pulling him down. The air grew thick, swirling with the anguished faces of the children who had disappeared, their eyes wide with terror. "Help us," they cried, their voices echoing in a haunting chorus. David struggled, feeling the cold tendrils of darkness wrap around him, squeezing tighter. "No! Get away," he shouted, fighting against the grasping shadows. Goliath laughed, a sound that rumbled like thunder, sending waves of fear through David's body. "Embrace your fear, little shepherd," Goliath mocked. "It will consume you like the others." With a desperate cry, David remembered the power of belief. He called upon the strength of his ancestors, the tales of heroes long past, and the faith of those who had trusted him. "You do not own me, Goliath," he declared, breaking free from the grasping shadows. He readied his sling, focusing on the giant. "This ends tonight." With a surge of determination, he launched a stone, but Goliath raised a massive hand to deflect it, the stone shattering against the cave wall. "Is that all you have?" Goliath roared, his form growing larger, the darkness swirling around him as if feeding on the energy of his rage. "You will pay for your insolence." The shadows began to close in again, and David felt despair creeping back. But as the darkness loomed, he remembered the children, their faces flashing before him, innocent and terrified. With newfound resolve, he called out to them, his voice strong. "I will not let this monster take you." Drawing on his fear, he flung another stone, infused with the hope of all those who had suffered. The stone struck Goliath in the chest, and for a moment, the giant staggered, a look of confusion crossing his decayed features. But it was not enough. Goliath roared in fury, summoning the shadows. "You cannot defeat me. I am eternal." The ground trembled as the earth beneath them cracked open, revealing a swirling abyss of darkness, the cries of the damned echoing from its depths. In a final act of desperation, David remembered an ancient chant his mother had taught him, a prayer for protection against evil. He began to recite it, his voice steady despite the chaos around him. The shadows recoiled as the words filled the air, a barrier against Goliath's darkness. "Your words mean nothing," Goliath bellowed, charging forward. But as he crossed the threshold of the light created by David's chant, he shrieked, his form dissolving into shadows, writhing as if in pain. "No! This cannot be." With a final shout, David hurled his last stone, the chant reaching a fever pitch. The stone struck Goliath's forehead with blinding light, and the giant exploded into a cloud of darkness, dissipating into nothingness, the anguished screams of the children fading into silence. As the light enveloped the clearing, David collapsed to the ground, gasping for breath. The shadows retreated, and the air grew still. He had faced Goliath and emerged victorious, but the victory was bittersweet. The villagers rejoiced upon David's return, but he could not shake the feeling of unease that settled in his chest. He had defeated the monster, but the darkness had not been vanquished, it had merely retreated. That night, as David lay in bed, he felt a chill in the air. He could hear whispers outside his window, faint and haunting. "You may have won the battle, David, but the war against fear is far from over." As sleep claimed him, the shadows crept back into his dreams, reminding him that true horror lies not in the monsters we defeat, but in the darkness that lingers in the hearts of men, waiting for its chance to rise again. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Check out our other videos for more, and let us know your thoughts in the comments.